Okay, we ready? We got enough people on already? Shine, we're ready to go. It's Sunday night. We got to try and do it early. Yes, I didn't bring up the early Sunday night today because I figured it's only really an Amud, right? So
it's short. Yeah.
Really only an Amud, so we could finish earlier.
It depends if you're a pastor like the Kloisenberger.
No, this covers the. I thought about it.
Why is it only an Amud? I didn't open up yet. Why is it only an Amud?
Well, why don't you open it up?
I didn't open up yet.
Check page B.
We finished the parak, so it's only a little.
That Kelly is very short.
Where are we up to?
I'm looking. Oh, that's Gavaldic. It's wide lines.
Because you love spending time with us, huh, Naftali?
Wait till we do the Tosfos.
I woke for Sunday earlier.
I'm just joking.
I have to be in the car at 5:30 in the morning tomorrow.
There you go. Okay, so then it's your lucky day, Naftali.
Yeah, okay.
What do you call it? Now, the Kloisenbergers, if it was only on Amud Aleph, this L'chayra covers the Kloisenberger, no? Because it has some on Amud Beis. A mazel to Rabban on the shidduch.
What's this Kloisenberger?
Kloisenberger said, we discussed it last week, I think, that is it a neder? Is it a neder to learn
to do an Amud.
Yeah.
I did it because of that. I did the daf on Shabbos.
This is a daf.
Very good. Very good. This is a daf, though. This covers it. Yes. L'chol hadeis. This covers it.
Where did we leave off? I didn't.
Bottom of Nun Vav Amud Beis. 2 lines up from the bottom.
Toner Rabbanan.
Yeah. Okay, so just to chazer quickly from yesterday, 6 things that Chizkiah did. 3 Chacham were happy about, 3 they weren't happy about. How they crafted trees on Erev Pesach after Chatzos. Then 2 pshat on what they did with Kriya Shema. Right, we said it. Then we had the story with Baruch Shem K'vayid Malchusai. Right, that's the reason why we say it is because that's what Yaakov Avinu said. Then we had a different version of our Mishnah with the Yerichai. And did the Chachamim have a problem with gathering the grain before Pesach? That's an Amud Aleph. Machlokes, if the growth from hektish is hektish, and then where the fruits on the tree allowed to be taken from, meaning was there a chashash that the fruits are going to go from way up on top, and then we're afraid that if you're gonna allow the aniyim to come take the fruits when there's starvation, and the lower branches was not an issue. And then peah, that's what we were saying. We started with peah, that there's really four qualifications for peah, of which vegetables don't meet it, because vegetables are not meant to go long term. They decay very fast. So mainly you don't have to give peah on it. So and then we're continuing that tonight. So it's on the fun, 2 lines up from the bottom. So Tana Rabbanan. Yeah. Barishayna, how you nice and peah lefes l'kruv. In the beginning, they gave peah to the lefes and the kruv. Kruv is cabbage. Lefes is we had it yesterday, right? Turnips and kruv. That's what they would meaning before the Chachamim said stop giving. Again, let's just to chaza. I should have said it before. What's wrong with giving peah on vegetables? Like, what's the loss? The loss is because since peah goes to the aniyim, you don't have to take off chumas and maisa. So it's very nice that you're giving extra food to the aniyim, but that's coming out of the pockets of the kohanim and the leviyim. So in the beginning, they gave peah on lefes and kruv before the chachamim told them not to do it. Even for kafloit. Kafloit is leeks. But Tanya, we have a different price. So you nice to pay the lefes for the kafloit. In the beginning, they gave peah for the lefes and the kafloit. Reb Shimon Aimer afle kruv, even to kruv. So l'chayra, it sounds like that there's three-way machlokes here, even though it's two tanaim, right? But it's 2 different brises. But lamaisa, there's 3 different opinions of exactly what went on here. Did they give it on lefes and kruv? And then Rabbi Yossi says even kafloit. And the other brisa says no, they gave it on lefes and kafloit. And Rabbi Shimon says even kruv. So the chayra, now we're on Amud Aleph, the Gemara seems to be saying that there's a 3-way machlokes. So name a tlasa tanoi havi. Let's say there's a 3-way machlokes tanoim of what it is that went on with Yerichai. So Gemara answers like Trei Tanoi Hava. There's 2 Tanoim. The Tanakama of Reb Shimon, Hainu Reb Yossi. The Tanakama of Reb Shimon is Reb Yossi. The Tanakama of Reb Yossi, Hainu Reb Shimon. And the Tanakama of Reb Yossi is Reb Shimon. So Umay Af. So then why are you saying the word Af? Right? Meaning Af sounds like even this in addition to the other two. And the Gemara right now, by saying that it's only two machlokes, there's no af, right? It's just how you split up the Tanaim. So we say af is going on the kamaisa, it's going on the first case, and it's not going on the first two cases. Okay, so Tana Rabbanan. Now we start with all sorts of very interesting stories. Naftali, not only is it a short daf, it's even an easy daf. I mean, at least in the pshat. Hashkafically, I don't think it's an easy daf at all. Okay, so Tana Rabbanan. Ben Behuyan Nosan Peah Yerik. Ben Behuyan, right? That was his father's name, so he was the son of Behuyan. He would give peah on vegetables. Uba aviv umatzan, and his father came umatzan la'aniyim shutun and Yerik. And his father came to his son's field, and he saw that all these aniyim are coming out of there with tons of vegetables from peah. Again, peah is the corner of the field that you leave for the aniyim. V'amden al Pesach Hagina, and they were leaving the garden with all their vegetables, the aniyim. Amar lahem, so Behuyan said, Amar lahem, Beni, meaning Behuyan, the father, said, Beni, or Banai, right? Banai would be the right properly to say it. Banai, my children, meaning to the aniyim, hashlichu me'alechem, leave, let go, hashlichu me'alechem, throw off from you all these vegetables that you took. I'm going to give you double. I'm going to give you double meiser from that. Right? Meaning I'm going to give you double what you have right now. Right? Meaning it doesn't mean that he's giving them meiser. He's not allowed to give them meiser. Right? Because meiser goes to the Levian. What it means is that I'm going to give you double from stuff that was already taken care of. And the reason why I don't want you to take the vegetables, not because I'm being cheap, and I know that you're taking the vegetables shalai kedin because my son did not have to give you the corner. No, I want to be Mekayim, the words of the Chacham, who say that you don't give peah on vegetables. So since there's no peah on vegetables, so it's not the right thing to do. You're going to end up making the Chachamim, the Kohanim and the Leviim lose. All right? So that's basically what it was. Again, the Aniyim were leaving from his son's field, and they took it shaloi kedin. So he went to tell them that they're not. They should just give it back. He's going to give them back double because he wants to make sure everything is done properly, right? So how come you have to tell them that because I'm cheap? Meaning that I'm not cheap. So one answers, he's just pushing us off. Meaning that the Aniyim would have been afraid had he told them, I'm just going to give you double, leave your vegetables, and I'm going to give you double. They would have thought he's just blowing them off. And he really wasn't going to give them double. He just wanted to get back the vegetables that they took, shaloi kedin. So therefore, he prefaced it by saying, I'm not a cheap guy, and I'm not doing this. I'm not telling you to put back the peah because I don't want you taking the corner of the field. I'm telling you because I want to keep the halacha the way the Chacham said it. And the Chacham said there's no peah on vegetables.
So this chumrah that his son did is really against it because the Kohanim and Leviim lose truma. They lose truma of that area. So really he was doing.
So that's why they were doing something wrong, even though you'd think, he's being from on someone else's plates. Very good, Aaron. So I couldn't have said it better than that. Exactly right. You're being from on somebody else's cheshbon, 100% on somebody else's plates. Correct. Fine. So Tana Rabbanan. Now we get into the interesting things that happened by the Beis Hamikdash. Tana Rabbanan B'Rishaina. Right at the beginning, hayu manichem iris kodshim b'lishkas Beis Haparva. So they would leave the skins of all the kodshim. Right, there clearly was a lot of skins. And the Kohanim get to keep the skins from all the korbanos. So they would put them into the Lishkas Beis Haparva. That was the name of it. Right, it comes up in Yom Kippur. I forget what they do Yom Kippur in the Beis Haparva, but I don't remember what they do there. But whatever it is, it was one of the courtyards on the side, one of the rooms, storage houses on the side of the Beis Hamikdash. The Erev Beis Av, and whichever the Anshe Beis Av, right? There were 24 mishmaros, right? And each one got to be in the Beis Hamikdash for a week at a time. Like there was teams of Kohanim, and each one.
The Kohen
what do you
Gadol
say?
used to, when he was on the Kohen Gadol, the week before, he used to go be in the Beis Hamikdash.
Right. Yeah, so
That's
that,
where he,
that's what it was. That's what Kohen Gadol was. That's what
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Very good. Very good. So, okay, good. Thank you. So then, every Mishmar went through. So then that night, the Mishmar would go and they would split up all the skins because they was on their watch when all these skins were shechted, all these animals were shechted. But then what happened was the strong kohanim would take by force. They would end up taking a much larger portion than what they deserve to get. So hiskinu sheyu mechalken oisan me'erev Shabbos le'erev Shabbos. Then they decide instead of giving it every night, right? They would do it on Friday, on erev Shabbos, every erev Shabbos. That's when they would give it out. Then because then all the mishmaris would come and take it, right? So the Rashi says, meaning, so what was that going to help? There's a lot more kehanim around. So if there's a lot more kehanim around, it wouldn't allow the strong guys to take over, because the more people that there are there's the less that these strong-armed kohanim can force everybody to give in to them. And still the Gedolei Kahuna would also take it with Bizraya. Right now, this sounds like the first set of Kohanim were just stam, rough fellows. Then they took care of that issue, but then the people that were more chashuv, meaning they didn't force it out, it just seems like they were able to just, they did whatever they wanted. Nobody could say anything to them. So amdu bailim v'kedishim l'shamayim. So then what happened was the bailim, they had made it hektish, right? So this is a smart idea. They made all the skins hektish, and oibazayda kahanim couldn't take it, right? And now everybody lost out. Yeah. So Amru, and they said lo hayu yamim otim, wasn't that many days. Hachichivu was a heichel kula b'tavloi shel zov, because now the bedek habayis, right, had the temple, what do you call it? The Bedek Habayis, right? What do they call it? The temple, what's it called? Temple treasury, right? The treasury?
Treasury.
Oh,
yep.
There you go. Right. So they were going to give it to the Darche. They're going to give it to the Darche, right? They give all the skins. Whatever it is, they had so much money in the Bedek Habayis, right, that what did they do? They were able to cover the entire Heichel with boxes of gold. Right, I imagine that means like tiles, no?
That's all right, that the Malcolm Hamikdash looked nice.
Gold plated,
Yeah,
gold plated.
right.
The tiles are gold.
Yeah, and the Mesa Mikdash was supposed to look nice. Shehein Amal Amma Ka'uvi Dinar Zov. It was an Amma by an Amma.
It looked nice because nobody did what the Torah said to do. That's why it looked nice. Great. Artists.
Yeah, you're saying that's how
Rabar,
come
I
it
thought you
good.
were going to say that's a riot to the very Hungarian style shuls.
Oh,
If they don't do what they're supposed to do, yeah, good.
And it's a little hashkafically. I said it's a shveradaf. This is a shveradaf. This is what's going on in the Beis Hamikdash. You can imagine, right? Anyway, so they took all these skins and they were able to mamish line the entire Beis Hamikdash with gold. Well, the regal hayu makaflin oisan, but on Yom Tif they would take it off. And when I'll give Mila Baharabayas, and they would put on the steps of the Harabayas. That they should see, like you said, Zev, that it's a beautiful, the Beis Hamikdash is beautiful.
Aaron Kaplan, that's when they opened up the Shtiblich in Meir Sham, the first time they opened the Shtiblich.
Okay.
If they weren't supposed to be doing this with the gold plating and all that stuff, so how come yesterday's Amud, when we said that Chazal was upset at Chizkiah, right, for taking off the gold plate on the door?
For taking off the gold, right?
So why is it a problem? If you're not really supposed to do it to begin with, why are they upset that he's taking it off?
This is on the floor, not the doors. This is different.
It's different? Meaning, what do you mean?
Well,
it's not the same gold you're talking about. You're asking a good
I know. I'm asking. I'm saying in general. It seems like, based on what you're saying, like you shouldn't really be beautifying the Beis Hamikdash like this with gold and silver and all that stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Then why are they so upset?
It must be that the doors of the Beis Hamikdash, I would think, but I don't know, must have had more of a chashivas to it than these things on the floor. Also, this was done temporarily. There, Mama shipped it off to what was the name of the king already? It's already yesterday.
It was Assyria. It was one of the Assyrian kings. I don't know.
Ashur.
Yeah.
Ashur, yeah.
The Ashur, it was to Ashur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Once it's done, it's kodshim. It's kodshim. You can't take it off and give it away. The same would have applied had they done that to the floors.
No, I don't know. Is the floors, does that make it kodshim? It's not a klei
Why not?
sharis.
It's part of the Beis Hamikdash.
Klei sharis.
No, but neither is the Beis Hamikdash a klei sharis. He took a stone out of the wall of the Beis Hamikdash and sent it to Ashur. It'd be the same thing.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I don't know. I hear, but here was this a temporary thing. That's what I would think. Anyways, so Tana, Abashal Oimer, Kairish. Okay, so that's the end of that story. Then Tana, yeah, a similar story. Tana Abashal Oimer, Kairish Shal Shikma Hayiberichai. There were these shikma trees in Yerichai, which I guess is the same shikma trees that we had yesterday, right? The trees that they were grafting. And the strong armed people would take it with their arms. And so then when they saw this happening, so the owners were mocked the shit l'shem shemayim. Not l'shem shemayim, to the Bedek Habayis. Right? Aleim v'al k'yotze behem. And on these people and people similar to that, Amar Abashol said, Amar Abashol ben Madnus Mishum Abba Yosef ben Chanin, Oili mi Beis Baitus. What was to me from Beis Baitus? Yeah, Oili mi my Alson. What was to me because of their Alson is the weapons that they used, right? Rashi says it's on Allah is really, it sounds like a shield. Okay, but whatever it is, some sort of weapons. Oili mi Beis Chanin. Woe is to me from Beis Chanin. Yeah. Oili mi l'chishasan, and from the things that they lachash means the things that they whispered. Yeah. I mean they would give out bad advice. Rashi says yoyetzra, they would give out bad advice. Oili mi Beis Kasrois. Woe is to me because of the house of Kasrois. Right? Oili mikul ma'ason. Woe is to me from their pens. Right? Meaning the people from Kasrois would write letters, bad letters. Like I don't know exactly what Rashi means by that bad letters. I imagine lashon hara, those type of things. Oili mi beis Yishmael ben Piachi, and Oili from the house of Yishmael ben Piachi, which we're going to see weiter. Where Yishmael ben Piachi was actually a good person, but from his house they were bad. Oili my greifen, woe is to me from their fists, right? Because they were strong armed. Shehem kahanim gedolim, because they were kahanim gedolim, right? All these people were kahanim gedolim, upeneim gizbarim, and they made their kids into the treasurers. Chasneim amarkalin, and the sons-in-laws were the hackers. Vavdeya and chayftin asam b'maklis, and their avodim would beat everybody with sticks. Right?
That's why today's Rashi Yeshiva are against Daf Yomi.
I was trying to figure out a good line, how to touch this into the matziv nowadays. I couldn't figure anything out. So I figured, okay, but you did a fine job. Yeah, whatever it is, right? Fine. So Toner Rabbanon. Okay, so anyway, so that's that. So clearly what was going on by the end of we need Shmuley Sugar for this. That's the truth. I'm sure he could give a ganze shir of all this stuff that was going on back then. But it was a bad time in the Beis Hamikdash. It was bad times when not necessarily where there was corruption. There was corruption, unfortunately.
This wasn't by Sheni, correct?
Yes, as far as I know, yeah. Okay, so Tan Rabbanim. Arba tzvachos, there are 4 crying out, tzavcha azara, that the azara cries out. Rishayna tz'umikan b'nei Eli, go out of here, b'nei Eli, shetimu heichal Hashem, that they will matama heichal Hashem. Now, we had this way back in the Gemara Shabbos, if the Olam remembers, right? That the Gemara seems to say, the pashut of reading of the Psukim in Shmuel is that they were Mazana. The Bnei Eli were Mazana. Right? In the Gemara Shabbos, when it goes through all these cases throughout Nach, that seemingly, Gedolim made mistakes, so they said they were not actually mazana. What it was is they ended up being machmer on women bringing the karbonos. So Mamela, they weren't able to be with their husbands, and Mamela, the pasuk refers to it as they were mazana, but doesn't actually mean that they were mazana. But either way, from here it sounds like the Azara was still very unhappy with them. So that's one thing the Azara cried out about. They also cried out. The Azara cries that same Mikan Yisachar Ish Kfar Barkai. Yisachar, from the town of Barkai, should leave. Because he's mechaber himself, but he's mechal kodshim shemayim. Why? To have a karach yadei b'shirayim v'avid avodah. He would wrap his hands with shirayim is silk, and then he would do the avodah, right? So then, now what's a pshat in this? So Rashi says, what's wrong with doing the avodah with something wrapped around his hands? So Rashi says two pshatim. Rashi says it's a chatzitza, right? That's Rashi's first
like
pshat. And the
doing
second
the
pshat
avodah with gloves.
Correct. It's a chatzitza, right? And the second shot is that it's a bizayon, right? So based on this, if anybody got my halacha text today, was based on.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this the reason for your tweet?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Right. And the Mishnah Berurah brings this. I heard it today from Rabbi Rosner. He said that it's really a bach that he says it. But Lamaisa, the Mishnah Berurah brings it that you should not daven with gloves. Lamaisa, Rosh Hashanah says that if it's the gloves are there for cold or whatever it is, especially nowadays, the daven outside, if the heaters are not working in the tent over there, I don't know, whatever. But
I was waiting for Yeshua Martin to say something.
What if you're wearing like the latex
the heaters
gloves
in our
for health?
Kaplan chant are working.
Okay, there you go. So the latex gloves.
I reposted your tweet in the Harris Street Minion chat. I said I thought it was targeted our minion. Now I find out it's targeted on Daf Yomi. It's even bigger than the Harris Street Minion. How do you like that?
No, but for cold, Reb Shlomo Zalman says okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So now that it's
go
the
ahead.
football playoff, so it's Nagaya. If you're playing football and you make a minion during the game and the wide receivers have gloves on their hands.
Right, correct. They would have to take it off, right? But I'm saying it depends. If it's a chatzitza, so then you could daven with a glove. If you go Rashi's first shot, you could daven with gloves. You go with the second shot that it's a bizayon, then it's a bizayon to daven with gloves.
Why is it's considered a chatzitza?
Well, so 1 second. So Taisvis brings a raya the way Taisvis asks. We're not going to get involved in the whole Taisvis, but Taisvis brings from lulav, right? Lamaisa, can you wear gloves and hold your lulav and esrog? Lamaisa, you're not allowed to. Not only that, but the Pais can really say you shouldn't have rings on either when you take lulav and esrog, because that's also it's a chatzitza, right? So it's Taisvis 10. It depends what type of chatzitza. From Taisvis mashma that gloves maybe is not a chatzitza. It's only if you take a shmata and you wrap it around the lulav and the esrog, then that would be a chatzitza, but not necessarily. What's
is that a din in any mitzvah? Is that a din in any mitzvah that you pick up? You're holding a becher for kiddush?
Yeah, anything that has a din in holding, yeah.
Why when women wash?
Can you marry a kala if she's wearing a ring, a glove? Can you put on a kedushin ring?
I think not.
Let's say it's a fancy glove, you know.
Right. Yeah, fancy gloves.
No, I think it's
expensive fancy gloves.
Yeah, I think it's a problem. I can't say for sure. Oh, so that now you reminded me.
Rabbi
Razer,
he
brought from Rabbi Yitzchak Zilberstein that can a mile wear gloves. So let's say the parents, it's a corona type shiloh, right? If the parents want the mile to wear gloves out germs, is that considered a bizayon? So Rav Zilberstein said that we'd have no problem. I'm quoting Rav Zilberstein, there would be no problem because that's not a bizayon. It's there for cleanliness.
If you use a kli for mitzitza, then you can use a glove.
No, mitzitza is not the same as the cutting.
Okay, right. No, I hear your point. I hear it.
I'm saying if you wear latex gloves for health reasons, you're not allowed to wear that?
So why are you wearing it?
For health reasons.
I think based on this Rav Zilberstein, then it's okay. Meaning, it seems like if you have a good reason to be wearing the gloves, like Rav Shlomo Zalman says, if it's cold and you're outside, you're wearing gloves for that reason, then it's not a bizayon. The reason it's a bizayon is because if you had a meeting with somebody, right, something chashuv, you wouldn't wear gloves during that meeting, right? That's not it's a bizayon.
I also wouldn't have a meeting in 32-degree weather.
Well, you didn't have a choice.
Can you wear the gloves?
It's a football
on
game.
Shabbos, though?
Well, you look like you're at a football game.
Can you wear?
Yeah.
Gloves on Shabbos?
Yeah. Can you wear them? No. Can you wear them to shul on Shabbos?
What, stam?
Karen, are you allowed to?
That's a haitzah issue. Me'ikar adin, you're allowed to wear gloves on Shabbos. Me'ikar adin. It's better if you don't, but me'ikar adin, you're allowed.
Well, now you're not shaking anybody's hand in the street, so you really don't have a problem taking it off, right?
Oh, you're saying right.
We do elbow touches.
Yeah.
What about a lady who washes Natil Sudan with a ring?
What?
A lady who washes Natil Sudan with a ring.
Oh, so that's a chatzitza. That's a chatzitza issue, yeah.
You take it off?
Yes, women are supposed to take off their rings before
Depends
they wash.
what they do for challah.
Unless they never take it off.
There's a good reason for her to wear it. We're saying here it's not a chatzitza.
What do you mean? But if she takes it off for other things, then it is a chatzitza.
These gloves they didn't take off. They always wore these gloves.
What? No.
Kohenim always wore these gloves. They took them off when they weren't doing the Avodah. So they're mocked
Right,
also. So it's a chatzitza.
It is a chatzitza, yeah.
That's what it says it's not.
What do you mean? Who says it's not?
Tosfos, no?
I think Rashi holds it's clearly a chatzitza.
According to Rashi, everything's a chatzitza.
Okay.
By mikvah also.
And a chanami. You say Rashi l'shitasa. Okay, I hear.
Yeah.
I hear.
Yeah.
According to us, we don't paskin like Rashi.
And a chanami. I hear. You want to say according to Tyson, maybe not. Okay, I hear. Fair enough.
A ring should not be a chatzitza.
What happened to this being a short daf?
The mashkiach has spoken.
We intermingled the halacha shir in there.
That's right. Simon, what are you saying?
Please brought up Michael Jackson.
What about you said right if you pick up something if you pick up the lulav and esrog, right, with a shmata around it, there are communities that wrap like there, at least there used to be, they used to wrap like ribbon and things like that around the lulav and esrog, the lulav and the.
Well, that's to keep it. That's out to keep it tied up. Right,
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
But why? Who says you have to tie it up anyway?
No, you're supposed to have it tied up. It's supposed to be, well, if you go with those shits, lulu tzarech eged, whether that's a different machlokes. But yeah. Okay, so let's see right. Anyway, so that's the halacha.
They wrap it with gold and ribbons and stuff. No.
Yeah, but that's part of. I don't think that would be a chatzitza because that's part of what they hold as part of the lulav and esrog. Okay, right. The fourth line down. V'ayit savcha ha'azara, and the Zara also cried out, Su'u sharim rasheichem, lift up your gates, right? I'm sorry, your gates should lift up your heads, really. I should know to teach you that, right? We say that how often? Okay, v'yikanes Yishmael ben Piachi, Talmidei shel Pinchas. So that Yishmael ben Piachi, the Talmud of Pinchas should go in. V'yashamish bekuna gedol, and he should be the kohen gadol, right? Meaning, like we discussed him before, meaning his family was bad. He himself was good. That's the third. And then another fourth thing, Sushan Rashechem v'yikanes Yochanan ben Narbai, Talmidei shel Pankai, right? He was the Talmud of Pankai, right? V'yamali kreisa mikotshim Shemayim, and he should fill up his stomach with all the kodshim from Shemayim. Amru alav al Yochanan ben Narbai. He would eat 300 hagalim, and he would drink 300 barrels of wine. Yeah. And he would eat 40 saw of birds. That was just for dessert. Right? So now that's Amru. And Kol Yamav Shal Yochanan ben Narvai like Nimtzin Nicer b'Mikdash. There was no such thing as nicer. There was never any leftover karbonis because he ate everything. Okay. What are you saying? Okay, so Rashi, very good. So Rashi says this. Rashi in the second lineup says Shalosh Me'azagalin, meaning Shahayim Megadol, but basic Kehanim Harbe. He didn't eat it, but he brought up tons of Kehanim. So it doesn't mean that he himself ate it. It was his household, right? So it doesn't mean that he himself was a fresser. He was just a big Baal Tzedakah. He was a big Baal Tzedakah. He was a big Machnas Eirich. He was a big Machnas Eirich.
Doesn't
What
have to be his family?
No, as long as for Kohanim, as long as they were Kohanim, as long as it's Kohanim.
Yeah, but the way they teach it here is the many Kohanim in his house.
That's the way the article
many
says
Kohanim
it?
in his house.
So what's that? I mean, does it mean his family, or means just he had them in his
bias mean?
I don't know.
I don't know. I understood it to be that he was a big Machnas Eirich and he had like an orphanage or something like that, and he just he took care of everything. Okay, Amri Malko Sahava Yasvi, right? So they said, so the king and the queen were sitting, and Malka Amar Gad Yoy, and the king said that a Gdi.
Did we skip a half a line?
Did we?
What was the My Salkabe before?
Oh, you're right. I skipped a line. Thank you. Oh, My Salkabe, right? So, yeah, that's important. I was wondering. I'm reading the Gemara. I'm saying, 1 second. The Gemara doesn't say something about this before it goes straight into the story. Very good. Thank you. So, My Salkabe be Yisachar Ish Kfar Bar Koi. What ended up happening with this Yisachar Ish Kfar Bar Koi? He's the fellow who did the Avodah with the gloves or whatever, with the chatzitza. So Amri Malka Zav Yashmi, the king and the king were sitting. Malka Amar Gadiyai. The king said that a goat's meat is better. Umalka Amra Imra Yai. The Imra, the lamb's meat is better. Amru Man Mochach, who's gonna prove it? So Kohen Gadol, the Kamasa Karbanos Kol Yoima. Let's go ask the Kohen Gadol. He's the one, and he brings karbanos every day, so he's gonna know exactly which meat is better. Also Ihu, so he came. Right, this Yisachar ben Barkai, he came. Now we're on Tamid Beis. Achvi biyadei, and he showed with his hand. I'm sorry, Achvi biyadei, he showed with his hand. Igadi yoy yisak l'tmida. If he like machter avek, as he call it, right? Like Rashi says, b'lashon tzchaik, it's like in the lashon of laughing. He said, if the gdi is better, right, then it should be the carbon tamid, yasik l'tamida. It should be brought up as the carbon tamid, which it's not, right? So he basically sided with the queen, and he just made laughing out of the king. Amar Malka, so the king said, since he doesn't have any fear from the malchus, right? Meaning not only did he go with my wife, which is a whole different shmooze. The king was upset that the Kohen Gadol paskin like his wife. But he did it with Azah,
Bittul.
There you go, Bittul, very good. Nifsik liyamine, I'm going to cut off his right hand. Yav shaycher upaskil l'smalei. So, but this Yisachar gave a bribe to this Kohen Gadol gave a bribe, and they knocked off his left hand. I'm assuming because, well, I don't know, he becomes a balmum anyways. So,
yeah,
so I don't know.
That bothered me this morning. If you cut off one hand, it's a balmum. What's
right?
What's
the if it's left or the right? I don't know. Maybe he could maybe he would cover his left hand. Nobody would see it. We put it in the shmata. Nobody would know he didn't have a left hand, and they would use his right hand. I don't know.
Want to be able to put tefillin on?
You think so?
Who knows?
Okay.
You knew he would be a balmum, so you want?
No, you would think that had to do with the
right hand was probably stronger, and this way at least he had his right hand left.
So you're saying it had nothing to do with religion? It just had to do stuff.
No, it's just convenience. He wants a dominant hand.
I hear. Very good, very good. So Shama Malka, but the king heard about it. Upaske liyamina, and he cut off his right hand too. Right. Fine. So Amar Rabbi Yosef, Baruch Rachmana da Ashkele liyisachar ish kvar barakai. Baruch Hashem that he got punished. The mitrafase minei v'hai alma, that he took payment from him in this world. He got punishment in this world. Right? Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Normally we say that good people get punished in this world, so that their next world is okay. Is that what he's saying here? I don't know.
It says in the bottom, Rabbi Yosef praised Hashem for afflicting Yisachar in this world, so that his punishment could serve as a warning for other Kohanim to treat the offerings respectfully. Chidushe Chasham Sofer.
Okay, so then that's different. That's not pshat. That he wasn't happy that he got the punishment. It was just tam that would prevent people from doing the avodah with
that
chatzit.
Next note says the Ben Yehoyada says that, like you said the first time, that he's getting scar. he's getting punishment in this world so he can get schar in the next world.
That means that he was a good guy though. That's what he's saying.
He brings a Ben Yehoyada that says it on the bottom.
I hear. Okay, very good. It's fine.
Okay, so is it mutter for a melech to take revenge like this?
What do you mean? He's married b'malchus.
Don't kill him. If you hold his chayv misa, kill him. This guy wanted his revenge, so he took off his hand. Now you chatesi.
You're muted, Reb Aaron. You're muted.
It's good to be king. You do what you want.
Yeah.
that
That's what
might
a king
be true,
is.
but is it mutter?
That's what he's not interested if it's mutter. That's what a king is.
Yeah,
you could read a history book.
We should keep it a Lion King soundtrack.
So I'm going to lend you a couple of history books.
Who said this king was a Jew? Who said this king was a Jew?
He wants to do.
It's one of
the Chashmonai kings.
Aaron, did you just quote Mel Brooks on our shir? Come on.
Okay, listen. What do you call it? The kings. I mean, the king and the queen weren't from the Chashmonai and weren't exactly tzaddikim either. Right, there was this whole story was unfortunately not okay. Fine. Amar Ravashi, Yisachar ish kfar barkoi lo tana masnisen. Yisachar, this ish kfar barkoi never learned Mishnayos. Right? Why? The Tanan Reb Shimon Omer kvasim kaidmin liizim. A keves comes before goats. Right? I mean, anytime it says in the pasuk, the keves always comes before the goats. Yachom bnei shumu fcharim b'minon. You would think because it's better. Tamaloymar im keves yavi karbanoi. It says that he brings a keves as his carbon. That means they're both the same, right? So he never even learned Mishnayos because he didn't know this Mishnah. That one is not better than the other. Ravina Amar afilu mikra nami loikara. He didn't even learn psukim either. The siv im keves. It says if you have a keves, im eis if you have a goat, right? Ibai keves laise. If he wants, he brings a keves. Ibai eis laise. If he wants, he brings a eis. Right, and Rashi says there's no difference between the two. So Mamela, he didn't even know any of these psukim, so therefore it doesn't make a difference. So Hadron Allah Magam Shenogam Sligal Pesach Rishon. Right, so this is the end of Pesach Rishon.
What?
Yeah, I'm just saying it's interesting that this is called the end of Pesach Rishon together with Arvei Pesachim. Now the Gemara Pesach Sheni is the next 5 prakim, the next 4 prakim. Are 5 prakim. The next 5 prakim are all basically about Korban Pesach, not Hilchos Pesach. But it's interesting in the rush jumps to Arvei Pesachim first here, and then he so it's split up. Okay, whatever it is, well, I'm fine. I'm good to know. Simon, what are you saying?
I was going to ask, why are we still discussing these people when we know historically at that time that they would buy the kahuna? That's why he was able to bribe the king or the king's people and stuff like that. They used to be able to buy the kahuna. So why are we having a whole discussion about what happened?
And why are we even bringing proof? Like, who cares about them?
Because because he was a kohen gadol and because he was a melech hashmonai or whatever he was at that point. What's the difference? We don't bring riots from people that we can't follow.
I hear. I don't know. I don't even know why the Gemara is why is the Gemara bringing this bichlal?
I mean, that's a different story. I can't, but
and
the Gemara is trying to say that.
Yeah, I don't know. What are you saying, Gershon?
Could be the Gemara is trying to say that this Yisachar Ishkar Bar Koy was Taki Kedai to be a Kohen Gadol. Even if he bought it, there was some that would buy it, presumably for the correct reasons.
That's not how you bought. That's not how you became the Kohen Gadol anyway. Was buying it. That's it.
That's true. But once you got to that point where people were buying it, at least the good guy should buy it.
But it's incorrect because you get there by the way you get there is also the derech you have to take. You can't just bribe your way into becoming the Kohen Gadol.
If everyone's buying their way in, then how on earth would a good guy get there? Mainly, you have a good guy buy it.
Well, first of all, doesn't a king doesn't place a Kohen Gadol to begin with, right?
Well, historically, we had lots of problems with the Kohanim, no, Tiago?
Yeah, I'm saying yeah.
I'm saying tzedukim, bribery.
Why are you looking at me when you're saying that?
Like,
why, Icky? Why are you looking at me?
Because we all know you, Uri.
What?
I've known you for 16 years, yeah.
Isn't that odd though? I'm saying historic, and maybe this is also a Shmuley Sugar question, but isn't that odd though? Like the kahuna, which is like the most important thing, was like full of.
Well, you took it away from the Becharim, which was me, so you got stuck with the Kahanim. You didn't want the Becharim to have it. You got stuck with
Didn't the Hashmonaim all start by Hanukkah? That they took Malchus after Hanukkah, and they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
They said they shouldn't have. But they should have given it back over, and they didn't do that.
That's why Hanukkah is not really in the Mishnayos. I just want to read it. Rebbe was
Rabbi Yehuda Nasi
was
he was from Malchus Beis David, and Rav Kivega. It's a Rav Kivega. It's not somebody like me. Rav Kivega says he didn't put it in the Mishnayos because he was upset with them. That's Rav Kivega says that.
Yeah, he put it in Mishnayos in one place in the public comma.
Oh, he had to mention, but there's no Mishnah. There's no Gemara Hanukkah like there's a Gemara Megillah. That's why Rav Kivega says he was upset with them. Yeah.
Right, even in the Avodah and Yom Kippur, right? Why did they have to make the kohen gadol cry? Because they had to give him a feher to see if he's an apikoiris, right? It even snuck its way mamish into every Yom Kippur, right? For doiris, because of the apikosim, the strong arm kohen gadol, they had to make sure that the whichever kohen gadol was legit before he.
But it says in the Mishnah, right? Doesn't it say in the Mishnah that if the kohen is an Amar, so then they like write a script for him when he has to say his speech or whatever. Because the guy could barely even read Hebrew, the kohen gadol.
Right. 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 And because of the strong ground, apikosis the kohanim. Yeah.
And the tzedukim weren't like most of the that was like a big majority of the kahuna was tzedukim also, no?
Yeah. The elites.
What's the pshat with that? The like most trusted position in Judaism, and it's just all full of like.
I don't know. That's what you
not,
want to
not all full, not all full, partially full.
You want to take it a step further. So the world is almost 6,000 years old. We had the Beis Hamikdash for a combined 800 something years, right? Of those 800, how many of them were messed up from all these, right?
Yaakov, there's been maybe 3 good years since the time of Bris from the Shlish Yimei Bris. About 3 good years there were. About 3 good years.
Well, right. I'm saying it's when you sit back and think about it, it's lo human. It's lo human. You can't. I don't know. I don't know what I tell you. I don't know.
That's it. Just throwing it away.
Can I ask a question about yesterday's? Daf?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we were discussing Yericho and people living in Yericho, right? I thought we weren't allowed to rebuild that city and to live there. So were they living in tents, presumably, or was it like how did that all go down?
I never even thought of that. That's a good question. I don't know.
I mean, are they all Bedouins?
I believe what happened was with Yericho that those who built it lechatchila got cursed, but it was only the people who rebuilt the city had a curse on them, not necessarily.
Not the people that were living there.
Yeah, it was an important city. I mean, it was an important city.
Is that the way it goes on as well? It's interesting. Yeah, that's the way only the people.
I don't know who would want to be a contractor on that city. I'll tell you. It's like a one-time.
I would think, right.
It's a one-time job.
Maybe they were relatives with the kohen gadol.
Yeah.
This is how I remember learning.
Or maybe it's the same. It's the same idea as Egypt, as Mitzrayim. We were told you're not allowed to live there, and all of a sudden, Chacham Avodah Yosef is the chief rabbi of Egypt.
That's not the Isser. The Isser is to return the same way we came up.
Yeah, it's they should have done by the Beis Hamikdash. They should have done what we learned this morning: make takanas and tell them if you guys behave, we'll take back the takanas.
Oh, you mean like we learned today in Shabbos?
Yeah, we learned this morning. They should have done more of that over the years. We would have had better times.
Well, like Muksa.
Yeah, it worked really well for Muksa.
It did. It did work for Muksa. They took everything away. Then they added. They said, "Okay, we're relaxing. We're relaxing.
They didn't relax that much.
Or he's got some muksa baggage.
They could have relaxed a little bit more. Let me tell you.
It's that fiery kahuna, you know.
Right.
Hold on, Grip Shimon.
You're done.
Yeah.
All right,
everybody.
So Rebbe, Rebbitzon's back to normal?
I don't know. I haven't really spoken to her, to be honest with you, in the last hour to a couple hours.
I'm telling you, Rebbe, it's worth it. I just took mine tonight.
Okay. I will we'll see. I'm tempted.
Yeah, I'm tempted. I'll see. Learning stuff you don't know anything about. Good. The OT told you to drink a magical concoction. Go for it.
And it's working, yeah.
It worked. My wife's taste buds came back. Let me tell you, it did.
Jesse, really? You saw what the rabbi said about getting the shot, right?
No.
All right, I'm just saying, you better be careful.
The random rabbi in Israel. I love that one.
Oh yeah.
Some guy tried to use that with me here. I said, I don't even know who that guy is.
I said, let's go out to eat before I get my second shot, honey. Hey, crazy.
What happened? What was that one?
Some random
rabbi in Israel, one of these Sephardi guys said, if you take the shot, because they use embryos or whatever to originally figure out vaccines, you're going to turn into Mishkav Zocher if you take the shot.
Hey, dang.
The bottom of the article goes the group that is for the Fruma LBGTQH LMNOP
EVD HIV, yeah.
Is looking forward to welcoming all its new members.
Ferris, was this the same guy who said that you could cure corona by sticking a hairdryer in your mouth?
No, that was the drops. That's where Jesse got his drops from that rabbi.
Oh, the drops.
Still recording this?
This is a little different.
Are you still recording?
Probably, because I forget to shut it off. We got nothing to hide, Pondy.